Good morning and welcome to the 10 a.m. daily weather brief. We'll start off by taking a look at our latest surface analysis chart from this morning, in which high pressure does continue to move offshore. That is going to allow these clouds to progressively thicken throughout the day, as we do see an approaching front out from the west working its way in. And after sunset today, we'll see those rain chances increase rather rapidly in the overnight hours, as we do have a strong system up north interacting with some upper level energy, and that will likely lead to some widespread rain in the hours following midnight, in which at times may be a moderate to heavy. And similarly, we'll also see a strengthening low-level jet overnight that will likely produce gusts in excess of 25 knots and likely necessitate a wind advisory for those overnight and early morning hours of tomorrow. And then following that frontal passage on Friday morning, moving into the afternoon, we'll then see those skies clear up, especially by midday, with winds also diminishing by evening, leading to mostly clear skies and lows in the 30s. And for Saturday, we do look to remain largely dry and seasonable with highs in the mid-40s. Now, moving on through the weekend here, we can see that high pressure will build back in and dominate our overall weather features for the next few days once we move into the weekend. And that is also while making note that we will have a weak cold front pass through. However, that cold front does look to be rather moisture starved, so we shouldn't see much impact come of that frontal feature as it moves through on Sunday. And then temperatures on Sunday will also rebound into the 50s before we see some slight cooling to below average levels on Monday. But then by midweek, those temperatures do begin to moderate, with yet another storm potentially approaching in the later half of the week. As for our 24-hour forecast, we shall continue to see those scattered to broken conditions for a majority of the working day today. We'll see those conditions become more so broken, leaning towards overcast in the evening hours. And then once we get into those overnight and early morning hours, we'll see overcast conditions with a good chance of rain, with the possibility of maybe seeing a flash of lightning in the vicinity as we move through that early morning period. Our winds generally are rather light, gusting up to 15 or so at times in the working hours of the day. And then we'll see a slight lull before that frontal feature kind of arrives, and we see those winds pick up and likely get to the threshold of needing that wind advisory as we move on. And with this frontal feature bringing those rain chances, we'll also see some lowered ceilings and potentially some lower visibility levels as we move through that unsettled period. Now, for the next few days here, Friday, we can anticipate windy conditions with rain likely. However, once we get through that early morning period, we'll start to see those rain chances diminish and those clouds will thin out. We'll also see a high around 60 or in the upper 50s. And then for Friday night, we'll see mostly clear conditions with a few clouds mixing in here and there and some lingering elevated winds, so a slight chance of that wind advisory holding on, and a low of 30. And then for Saturday, partly cloudy with greens across the board and a high of 45. And that brings us on to the 7-day forecast for the week ahead, in which tonight we have those rain chances and mostly lying in the early morning hours of Friday. Then we'll see clearing for the next few days afterwards, in which should be partly cloudy to mostly sunny. Then on Tuesday, we see yet another increase in overall cloud coverage, with Wednesday being intermittent at time, broken to mostly cloudy, with the coolest day of the week ahead looking to fall on Monday, and Sunday night being the chilliest of the nights ahead. That is going to conclude the 7-day outlook. I hope everyone has a great day. We'll be back tomorrow at 8:15 with the daily weather operation.